also, too, this goes for everybody.
Yeah.
Do not ask questions that are going to hurt your own goddamn feelings and then be mad. Because people be doing that.
Right,
people be doing that. They're like,
guilty.
They're like, oh my God.
All right. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Welcome to another episode of Talk Your Shift. I am Mel.
I am Jonathan.
Ooh, hello, Jonathan. That's exotic.
Sorry. Hello. I can't do a deep voice.
I can't deal with you right now.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. We like to talk about life and the journey and just what we're struggling with or what we're currently adventuring on in the mental health space and just in the life space. And then we like to be silly and have a good time. So without further ado, let us go to our first segment, which is our Am I the Asshole? Here we go. All right, hold on. Here we go. My girlfriend has a record.
Wait, you didn't say am I the asshole?
It says it on the end.
Can you say it?
I gotta switch it around?
No, just say it.
Am I the asshole if I...
Yes. Okay.
My girlfriend has a record of all the guys she's been with, including intimate details I find disturbing. Am I the asshole if I break up over this? My girlfriend has a record of all the guys she's been with. I personally think it's creepy, but her friends disagree. Basically, me and my partner attended a small get-together last weekend with some of her friends, and the topics of relationships came up. At first, nothing too explicit, with a few jokes here and there, until my girlfriend's friends forgot a detail about her ex, and suddenly pulls up a notes app to reveal a list of what seems to be guys' names with a brief description. She starts scrolling until she finds him and starts going into what their relationship was like. My girlfriend sees this and gets out her phone too. I take a glance over to see a similar list with corresponding number or ranking next to each guy, as well as intimate details including sex, his private parts, his interests, etc. And they begin sharing stories and comparing their past relationships. At the time, I was trying to be chill, but deep down I felt really weirded out. After the party, I tell her on the way home how I thought it was kind of strange to me, to which she called me insecure, saying that pretty much all girls have a spreadsheet or a list of their dating history. We got into an argument and she said some hurtful things, making a comment about how I'm pretty much at the bottom of the list when it comes to dick size. I feel it's really creepy to write about someone's genitalia like that. Now I'm worried about my own privacy. Am I the asshole if I break up over this? And there's an update. Thank you all for the advice. I tried one more conversation, but it ended in an argument yet again, so I broke up with her. Didn't feel good at all, and I'm feeling some regret, but I'm pretty certain it was the right decision. Some of her friends have contacted me saying that... Hold on. Where's it? Some of her friends have contacted me saying that I have a fragile ego. Oh my fucking God.
America.
Shut up! Stop it!
Shut up.
Some of her friends have contacted me saying I have a fragile ego and other remarks, but I kind of saw that coming. So, is he the asshole that he broke up with her? What are your thoughts?
I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would be a little bit creeped out. And also, too, like, if I found out that my boyfriend was keeping record of, like, specifics.
You imagine bra size and shit?
Yeah, like, he's like, yeah, so number 6 was cup size 32C. Like, I don't know, that to me, I feel like is a little weird. Like, I know that people talk to their friends about things, because we talk about things, too. And, like, it is what it is.
Listen,
Like,
there's a file, but it's in here.
Yeah.
It's not written out for the world to see.
Yeah,
it's in the file cabinet that is a woman.
Yes.
Like, that's all that it is.
Like, that's a little weird to me to have it actually written down, unless, I don't know, maybe you have memory loss issues.
But why do you then not delete the rest of the guys? You would just update your dude and then delete the rest.
But I don't know. I just think that's kind of weird to like have a record of that. And like,
there are some women that really do it, and I think if it's for reflective purposes to figure out what's wrong with you and why you're like fucking up in the dating thing and trying to find a common denominator, I feel like that's a journal exercise.
Okay, yeah.
That's not something you whip out after a couple beers at a party, like with your friends. Like, oh, you remember Rob?
Literally.
Yeah, didn't Rob play soccer? He's like, no, Rob played...
Give me a minute.
Lacrosse. Like,
yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, that I think that's weird. And also too, like, I'm a very big advocate for being able to be open with your partner and talking about like past relationship stuff if it is productive. I personally like, you know, if whoever it is I date next opens up to me and is like, yeah, well, the reason, you know, this, that, and the third happened in my past relationship. Because also, too, that's helpful. Because sometimes people they be on some weird ass fucking shit. Yeah. And you don't even know. Like, they are very good at masking. And then you are like 2 years deep.
Honeymoon phase, I think, is up to 2 or 3 years.
It's like 2 years, yeah.
That's a long ass time. You already like them a lot.
Yeah. So that's why I'm just saying, like, you know, I think it's good to have those conversations. Because also, too, you could learn a little bit more about the person, the good and bad. Pero I don't know, like, because that to me is like what the girlfriend and her friends were doing is not a productive conversation. That to me was boasting about this person, that person, and also too to say to something? Like, go ahead.
Dare I say something? Okay, this is the toxic part of me talking. I'm wondering if she did it on purpose to get a rile out of him, like a rise.
She might have. Well,
a rise out of him or to rile him up. Sorry, guys, I can't speak English today.
Nah.
my dad is over it. He said, nah, get this bitch out of here.
Yeah, like that. Like, I think she was doing it to be hurtful, and I do think
I feel it's like, one of those. I feel like it's one of those. It's so okay. I'm always for the girls. However, I have to address that sometimes we are also toxic. So holding our people accountable, as always. I can't help but because it says she's 21 and he's 20. That's the age. They are dumb at that age. Yeah. Like, you, before 25, you are not, I'm sorry.
Even after 25.
I love you. You're amazing. However, before the age of 25, there's just certain things, and it's nothing, I can't explain to you what it is. We can't explain to you what it is.
Well, it's your frontal cortex, no?
We can explain to you what it is. It's your frontal cortex. What she said. But, like, I can't help but remember those childish games I used to play when I was younger. Like, just, like, in the dating world, or just trying to get attention, or trying to get a rise out of somebody. And, like, I'm like, why would you do that? And not expect a reaction? And then tell him, you're being sensitive. It's just like, no, there's a part of me that's like, you wanted to make him jealous. You wanted to, because I don't know what it is about when I was younger, wanting to know if my partner was jealous, that, like, it felt empowering, maybe? Or, like, oh, they really want me, because look how mad they are. Look how mad I got them.
Well, you're trying to get them to, like, obviously they're not doing what they need to do in that category, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have to go and extract, what's the term that, like extract reassurance from them, then obviously they're not giving it. Not all the time. Sometimes you just need reassurance.
No, I'm just saying in this context.
Yeah.
It just seems really just childish games. Yeah. And it's just like, good for you, man. Because you know what? I always get so mad when the nice guys fall for, like, the toxics. Because I have conversations with women all the time. There are good guys out there. However, they're stuck in the middle of some narcissistic bullshit. Give them a second to get out. Yeah. Give them a moment. Because it's hard. It's hard for women to get out of those kind of situations. Like, even worse for us, right? And so we got to think, like, for a man to be caught up like that, is you kind of got to give him a second. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think he was the asshole. Like, I think that was really fucked up. And she was doing it to hurt him. And then also, too, for her to, like, then mention, like, his size, too. Like, she was doing that on purpose,
didn't have to do none of that. You didn't have to do none of that.
No, I wish he would have roasted her back. Oh, yeah, well, your lady business. And, like, just went off. I don't know.
But then she would have cried and been like, you're so mean.
Okay, so that brings up a really good point. Yeah. Like, you said you're for the girls. I'm for the neutrality, okay? I don't care who it is, what it is. Like, guy, girl, non-binary. You're an asshole. You're a fucking asshole. Like, I know,
but I usually try to stick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just how I'm built. We need to. It is what it is. All right, continue.
But like, yeah, doing something to hurt your. For the neutrality, I am. It doesn't matter to me, you know, guy. Like, however you identify, if you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, and I don't think it always necessarily correlates with gender. That's in my opinion.
No, that's fair.
But
in this instance, the asshole is the girl.
Yeah, like
immature ass shit.
Mel's dad is giving us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, like if you're trying to hurt someone, that's not cool. Having conversations to be productive, that's awesome. And like sometimes you're going to have conversations that maybe your partner, like, it's going to hurt them, but not that you're trying to actively hurt them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, from my personal experience, well, okay, let me rephrase because I don't want to, out of respect for them. We wouldn't always talk about like past relationship stuff. And I remember opening up about a past person, but kind of tainted intimacy for me just because of like immaturity reasons, Yep. And I remember like I think that it's normal to be upset that someone hurt your partner. Yeah. Stuff like that. So I do think that that's okay to be upset about, I'm so mad this person did this to you. But what I think is like insecurity to me is if like you're trying to have a conversation and they're opening up to you and they're like, yeah, well, this person, and then you get upset at your partner for telling you about such experiences when it's like, all right, well, you're supposed to be holding a safe space for me. That, to me, maturity is being able to have difficult conversations without putting your own personal feelings in it. Like, do I want to hear about, like whoever it was, the next person I date? Do I want to hear about your history? Like, oh yeah, like this, that, and whatever, like sleeping with people. Well, one, yes, because I need to know. I want to make sure I'm safe. Listen, I may love you externally, but like, I don't know, you might be having some shit going on downstairs, and like, I'm gonna love you from a distance. Like, we could keep this as, hey, how's your mom? My mom's doing great. Cool, send. That's it. But like, besides the point, yeah, when you start to take it personally, that I think is not good, because sometimes people go through different situations where, they were really hurt. And I just think that it's a really productive thing to get to know about your partner's past experiences, both intimacy and also too, just like emotionally. Not everything has to be physical.
There's a balance though, y'all. Don't start talking about everything that your ex did here and there. All the little things, like, no, the things that fucking count. You know what I'm saying? But not every little thing. It's just like, because some people OD. Then it's just like, at some point, you got to get through this, boo. Like you have no business being with another person right now because you still really like fucked up from the previous relationship. But there's you could definitely let certain things know, like let them know about certain things, like the big things, like an intimacy thing. 1,000%. I've told Carlton all the things because they're a problem.
Well, but they're a problem. Point. But that's my point. Is the point of the conversation is you're being productive about it. Yes. You're not doing it to hurt Carlton or to make Carlton jealous or like, I don't know. That's just me. And then also too, this goes for everybody. Yeah. Do not ask questions that are going to hurt your own goddamn feelings and then be mad. Because people be doing that. Right, people be doing that. They're like, guilty. They're like, oh my God, like,
If you're guilty of this, put a hand up in the comments.
Like,
guilty.
Like that shit, that shit used to get me riled the fuck up because it's like,
don't ask.
Then why are you asking? Like, do not ask me like, oh my God, like, I'm trying to think, for example. Do you think
me and Carlton had the body count talk? Do you think we've had it?
I would say yeah, because you and Carlton talk about it a lot.
Well, semi. I really don't know his number, and I don't even know if he really cares about mine. Yeah. But no, like, and that's a rough one. Don't ask that fucking question, guys. Don't ask the question because you're gonna be mad regardless. You're not in this brain of brains. You're not in Carlton's brain. I'm telling you, this is a professional move. Don't ask unless you are so secure in that relationship. Don't ask unless you're super secure in yourself, like to a certain degree, because you're gonna be sad, you're gonna be jealous, and then you're gonna be mad, and then what? Y'all fighting. For no reason. Now you quiet at dinner, eating, moving your peas around, all awkward and shit.
Can you pass me the ketchup? Like, you don't even make eye
It's just so
contact.
stupid. It's just like, I put out the trash.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that to yourself, man.
Yeah,
Who gives a fuck?
Unless you're ready to have conversations like that. Because, like, me personally, I can have that conversation. That's not going to upset me because in my brain, in my mental low base, what I'm thinking is, like, they're not with that person. They're with me. And, like, especially, too, if you ask a goddamn conversation. Because sometimes people be asking questions, I should say. Sometimes people ask the question and they try to be cute about it. And they're like...
Oh, no.
And it's like that pillow talk where it's like, yeah, so, like, you know, like, how many people... And then it's like...
That's a terrible time to ask.
I'm just saying.
While you guys are sleeping next to each other, all snuggled up. Could you imagine you're all spooned up and be like, so how many girls have you slept with?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Don't
terrible.
be dumb. Don't be fucking dumb. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, because also, too, people do that from their own insecurities. Because people are looking for reassurance. So sometimes people will, out of their own insecurity, ask a question, hoping for a certain answer. Sometimes they get the answer. Sometimes, you know, that's not the answer they were looking for.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. But do not ask, like, when it comes to, like, a rating thing like that. That's weird to me. Like, if someone, guy or girl, was to be like, so, like, was that, like, the best?
Look at me in my eyes. I am the best that you've ever had, and that's in my brain. That's what I have.
And it can stay there.
That's what I have to say. That's what I have to say to myself. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Even if somebody was better at certain things. Yeah. We're together now. Yeah. I'll improve, but you don't even have to say that to me.
Just say, give me the instructions.
No,
I got it.
Because, like, could you imagine if you were with somebody and, like, in the middle of, like, intimate stuff, like, after the fact, it'd be like, oh, well, you know, my ex, like, they would kind of do it like this a little bit better. And I'm just like, that's a terrible way of saying it.
Yeah.
Like, so, but you could, like, instead of being like, my ex did it this way, and that's why I liked it. You could just be like, do it this way.
That's what I was gonna say.
You ain't gotta mention. You don't. They're not even there. They're not even fucking.
We're right here.
They're not even there. They're not even there. You see how we can maneuver around these conversations, and you not get in trouble, but still get your needs met. Come through to our TED Talk. Just helping relationships one at a time.
Yeah, as long as you keep that in mind that the end goal is to be productive with whatever it is, then a lot of times...
Sometimes people just want to fight, though. If you just want to fight, then obviously you're going to disregard all the things that we just said. If you just want to fight, then go ahead and fight. Like,
and
go move your peas around. Like, if that's what you want to be sad and cry for like 3 days, that's fine.
Some people do that, though.
Do you? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I never understood that personally.
Because people like to punish themselves.
Well, yeah.
And then sometimes you think you're ready for the information, and you're not. And that's really what it is. Because you're like, no, I could do it. I can handle it. And then you get it, and you're like, it's just like, you know, you should have really thought about it.
Yeah.
And asking those kinds of questions, you know, are going to be triggering.
Oh,
like the body count thing or the rating thing or the whatever. Like,
I don't even understand why people would ask the rating.
Because they want to feel the worthiest. They want to feel the best out of everything. And it's just
reassurance. But also, too, not to burst anybody's bubble, but I'm just saying, you're not what you think you are. No, you're not. You're not. You might think that you're out here like, you know, the best. Like, we have them lined up like you are Jessica Rabbit. No, you are not. Okay, I'm sorry, but you're not. Like, everything. It's also based on perspective too. Like, because personally, if you feel more like safe and like there's a bit more of a emotional bond with someone, it's going to be a different experience than someone who it's like strictly contractual. You go there, like, who is it? Billie Holiday. One of her songs. What's her name? Yeah, Billie Holiday, right? No. She's an old singer, whatever. But one of her...
Hold on. Can you smile at me?
That has stuff?
You have a poppy. You got to get the poppy out.
Whatever.
I'm sorry. I can't handle... I know, but I can't handle the sound of spit.
And this is an exact example. Do not bring something
I thought you were going to ask for a fucking toothpick.
Nah. Anyway.
Let me see. Oh, it's gone. All right, you got it.
Yeah, I did what I had to do. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, besides the point.
Yeah.
You know, unless it's like a contractual thing where like whatever her name is, I got it.
She got it out. Thank you, Dad.
Thanks. You know, if it's a contractual thing where it's like drop your drawers, you do what you do, you go home, that's it.
You're not rating nobody.
Well, I mean, no, you still might be, but just more so saying like the rating is a little bit different based off of like if you care about this person. Like it's not just strictly a physical thing. Like there's a bit more invested into it. It's going to be different.
That makes me think
But
that if you can rate all these people, then did you really care about them at all? That you can put them in the box like that?
I would say so, cause like
To a certain
okay,
degree.
to make it a little bit more like
I'm just thinking about it.
like I guess like PG. Like think about let me see. I guess stuffed animals. Okay, when you were a kid, you definitely had a favorite stuffed animal, and like you could still rate the one that like you didn't have as much as an emotional bond with.
There's
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. There
Like you
is a
could compare, but there's other things that come into that comparison.
No, but what I'm saying also is that the comparison is it's a bunch of things you're comparing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just one thing. And
Yeah.
so for you to compare all of these people
Yeah.
in all these different categories, that takes mad fucking energy.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot
That takes
comes
mad
into it.
energy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like,
think
why
of
do you
food.
care?
That too.
Why do you
That
care to
too.
put this in? I'm curious because the way that these ladies handled it was kind of fucked up, but I'm curious if there is anybody out there that actually does the journaling type of thing with their ex-partners and stuff. Like, what's the motivation behind it? And like, yeah, just really what the motivation behind it is. Because if it's just for you, like, what are you doing? What are you getting out of it? What are the conversations that you're having with yourself or with others about this thing? You know what I'm saying? I'm just curious. I'm just absolutely curious.
Maybe that's just a conversation for like.
Because I don't need to put them in different categories.
Yeah.
They all were the same. They all were exactly the same. And I don't really care about the penile size of any of them. I don't need to write it because there's certain things. But anyways, I can't talk because my dad is here. But anyways. No, I'm not going to say nothing. My father is here, guys. You can't make me.
There's only 2 words I can say. Self-sabotage.
Oh, yes, you're right, Dad.
Yeah. No, it's true. When you're searching for reassurance, the only thing you're doing is literally self-sabotage because like you're not always going to get it because again, and when I said before you're not Jessica Rabbit, you could think you're Jessica Rabbit. You could do whatever you need.
The partner that you have can think you're Jessica Rabbit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes.
But
you got
like
yeah. Sorry.
Be confident, that's for certain, but also too like be realistic. Come on. Be realistic. Like
being realistic is hilarious.
There's times maybe you actually
make
are the best.
good choices.
Yes. Maybe you are the best. Awesome. Maybe you're not, and that's not to take a knock at you. That's just it is what it is. And people have different experiences. Some people are more experiencing than others. Some people like, I don't know. I think people just make things to be too goddamn much. Maybe that's
so much, and which is why I'm like, this dating scene is terrible.
Oh my God, it's
I know
horrible.
how everybody like people are like dating is so ghetto, and I don't like using that word, but I can understand what they mean by that when they say it because it sounds terrible when I hear my single friends, not you, when I hear my other single friends talking and complaining because she ain't in these streets. She be playing, but she not.
I look from outside.
She's too busy working.
I literally work all the time. But like I open the curtains, I look, and I'm like, still pretty shitty. All right, and close the curtains. That's
I almost want to introduce you to this guy at my job.
Oh my God.
Because he's a delivery. He delivers the rugs. Like they clean the rugs every Tuesday, and he's really sweet. And him and I talked, and he journals. And yes, he's cute. He's buff.
He's buff.
He's buff.
He buff.
And he's a cutie patootie. And he's very, very sweet. And I'm almost like, you want to come to my job on Tuesdays?
Listen, I'm not open to like, cause now
I just can't help it because he seems very genuine and sweet. And I'm like, who can I put him on?
I mean, listen, I'm not open to talking and dating to people because now where I am, like, I feel like I can do that and it not be, because one of the big reasons why, 1, heartbroken, 2, I didn't think it would be fair or right to somebody who maybe they're looking for something I'm not looking for and vice versa. Like, I just didn't think it would be fair to get involved with someone on a more emotional level when I knew I wasn't ready for that. Like the last thing I ever want to do is to hurt somebody. You're gonna hurt people. It is what it is, whether it's intentional or not. That's just how life is, and based on people's experiences and traumas and how they interpret things, and also too situationally. But I just didn't think that it would be right for me to have started talking to someone, and then also too, if I did start to get emotionally invested, I knew that I wasn't completely healed from what took place. And besides hurting this person, I also too I would be setting myself up for disaster
Can I ask you a
because
question?
sure.
Um, like while you're going through this, like, do you ever feel lonely?
Oh, all the time. Like one of the big things right now, I speak to my mentor about this a lot
Mm-hmm.
because my mentor is encouraging on
Oh,
just
she
making
ready.
sure.
She's like, this your whole years. You need to get out there. And I'm like, yes. But she's not ready yet. And
Yeah, like
she's just a little hoe. Just a little hoe.
just a little help.
And I'm just like, go on. Go on.
Yeah, no, like
Go
so.
get your feet
So
wet.
what was your question again?
If it gets lonely, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it definitely does because I'm very much like I'm not very big on talking to multiple people at once. I know what I have an idea of what I want, and I also don't like wasting time. So that's why
Ooh.
like my dating history is very you could put on a post-it note because like I'm just saying because I see things and I'm like, well, this is complete utter fucking nonsense. See you later. But
That's so funny.
um
Yeah.
I'm very particular with certain things and I'm not going to put up with certain nonsense unless like I think I could do a better job because obviously love blinds you with certain things. And even if you know, I mean, that's one of the lessons I really learned is that I knew certain things weren't right. And sometimes I wouldn't speak up about it. Sometimes I would just kind of let it go because I loved this person.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm very particular with certain things.
Is there
And
anything that, because of your last situation, without revealing too much, of course,
mhm.
like, is there anything at this point that you learned, even if it wasn't your past relation, the last one, but like something before that, um, that you will not tolerate this time around? Like, is there anything specific?
Um, yes. I think that taking things personally is so because I was very good.
Yo, you keep hitting
No,
that one button. I need a sound button. A sound button
Yeah.
to like hit that button.
A person of taking things personal count.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of how much it affects everything, and I was pretty good about that.
I was the worst person to talk to and the best person to talk to because
It
what
was
I said
great.
before, I would get mad in the beginning, and then once we calm down,
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
better. I'll be like, okay,
But
let's.
yeah.
So Carlton just watched me go off, and then he'd be like, well, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But yes, continue. I'm sorry.
That's why like when I talk to you and Carlton about things, it's very funny because like we hype each other up, but then like I'll calm down. Like I need the initial first 5 minutes to be me just being hyped and making jokes, and then I actually become more reflective.
You
But
need to get
besides
it
the
out.
point,
Yeah.
yeah, I think something that I wouldn't take personally. I'm sorry that I wouldn't want to deal with in my next relationship is um I don't want this to sound messed up, but in a way, emotional immaturity. And that could be taken multiple different ways, but like with the whole not taking things personally and stuff like that, like I just think that um so maybe not emotional. I'm just trying to think how I
There's
want to phrase it. Like
I don't think it
I
might be
want
maturity.
to
It might be maturity, and not saying that the person is a kid, right? Just saying needs a little bit more work. We need to level up just a little bit more because it's not like they have
Yeah.
no foundation.
Yeah.
It's just that they need more time. And time, that's maturing. You're talking about
Yeah.
like an amount of time that has to pass to like
Yeah,
create
like
that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like in my next relationship, I guess it's more so not taking things personally because I think that it's productive to have certain conversations and sometimes you can't have those productive conversations if what you're going okay, that's what it is. Not internalizing. Someone who
Ooh.
internalizes everything because whether it's constructive criticism or like you're venting about something, if someone's going to internalize something, they're going to view it with clouded judgment.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, in my next relationship, and for myself too, because obviously I'm not perfect, but Yeah, I would say not internalizing things. And for the lonely question, yes, there are plenty of times, and still times now. Like I said, I've mentioned it to my mentor. I'm like, wow, I think that I feel very lonely right now. Or I'll be like, I felt very lonely then. And I've been spending a lot more time with my family now. And it made me realize, I was like, oh shit, like I kind of just like packed my stuff, left my parents' house and dipped. And I didn't talk to people, friends, family. Like I really just kind of like I would talk to my friends, but not as much as I should have. And spending time with my family a lot more now made me realize like, wow, I actually was very lonely. And I still do feel lonely at times. And just spending time with my family a lot more recently has made me realize that, where I was like, oh wow, like sometimes I'm hyper independent, where it's not me being like, no, I could take care of it because I could take care of it myself. It's actually my loneliness manifesting itself in that way, where I'm like, no, it's fine, I could fucking do it, I don't need your help. When in reality, all I'm doing is just hurting myself, because deep down inside I feel super lonely, where it's me just reassuring like, no, you don't need anyone, you don't need anyone. And it's like, you're making things worse, brother. Like, just
And I was
take the
just
fucking phone.
and
Like,
I was about to say, I'm like, does it ever make you angry?
oh yeah, when I both in the moment and when I reflect, because sometimes I'm a
Yeah.
very stubborn person.
Mm.
And a lot of times I'll say like, I don't need anyone's help, I could do it, when I'm just hurting myself and I'm not getting someone else's perspective, which could, it's very enlightening. And yeah, so I would say, yeah, now I'm working on it, because I'm realizing it. Like I didn't realize how lonely I was until, like I said, I started spending more time with my family and realizing, oh shoot, I actually do have a support system that I just haven't been leaning on. Not that the support system was never there. I blocked out that support system.
Yeah.
And even when I was in my relationship, that was a very big thing too, which I'm very thankful that he helped me learn that lesson of like, I can rely on people. Cause he would always say a lot of times, like, can you just like let me help you? And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, I got it. And like, he's like, okay. And like, we would have arguments about that.
Yeah.
But realizing like he was right, it's okay to count on other people, because all you're really doing is isolating yourself, which makes you feel lonely. So yeah, so
I remember when I was
so
doing that.
yeah.
I get it though. That's why I'm like, because I felt so lonely when I was working on myself before I started dating Carlton.
Yeah.
Like it felt so bad. Like I would go hang out with my friends and like third wheel it, because I'm a good time. So it's like I'm not uncomfortable with a couple being around. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't make me feel bad, because I genuinely want you guys to be happy and I want to
Yes.
have happiness.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to diminish what you guys have. So
Yeah.
as long as y'all aren't just all up on each other the whole fucking time
that's
and
weird.
you're actually hanging out with
That's
me,
weird.
like I don't have a problem with it at all. I'll third
Yeah.
wheel the fuck out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, I remember being lonely like when I would come home and just being like, yo, what the fuck? Like, no, seriously, just mad. Like, yo, what the fuck? I'm a good person. Like, where the fuck's my man? Like, where's my person? And then he popped up. But
Yeah.
like, I remember feeling that way and just being
Yeah.
like, and then getting like upset. And then like, the thing is, you're still trying to work on yourself, right?
Mhm.
Because that was at least the goal for me.
Yeah.
Was that like, okay, we're single. The last relationship didn't work out. I don't want to go through that again.
Mhm.
I gotta put in this work. But goddamn, it's a lonely road while you're doing it, huh?
Yeah.
It's-
But you know what? It's nice in retrospect, because even if you are in a healthy, loving relationship, there's gonna be times where you're like, God damn, like I just need a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like I think individuality is a very big and important thing in relationships.
Mhm.
Maybe maybe the two of you need to be like conjoined twins. I don't fucking know. If you guys need to be like together every 5 seconds and that works for you, that's great. That works for you. Not for me. Like I need my space. Like I can't flip the page in my book if you're in my lap. Like that. Move. Dear God, move. But like I'm just saying,
that's funny.
like in retrospect, it's kind of nice, and you grow to appreciate it, because also too you get to kind of learn like where your strengths and weaknesses are, because while you're on that road, it's just you that's working on yourself. So it's lonely, but it's also, I think, character building.
Ooh.
personally.
You know what's so funny? I'm just like, I know that the meme is for this, but like we gonna go right into our meme segment just
Yeah.
so that we can continue this conversation. Don't ever feel stupid for loving someone who turned out to be everything they promised they would never be. But be proud that you still believe in the goodness of people, because that is rare. Don't let it harden you. Learn the lesson, but keep that heart soft.
Mm-hmm.
By Stephanie Bennett Henry. And yeah, it's pretty much, it's just like, because it gets lonely in these
Yeah.
streets. It does. And
It does, but it's also needed, I think.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the exact saying is, but you don't learn to appreciate things and really view things for what they are until you hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you grew up like very wealthy and like you had an affluent childhood, um you're not going to appreciate the same things that someone who grew up with maybe not as much money. They're quadding. um you're not going to appreciate certain things as someone would that didn't have enough money growing up, or not as much money growing up, and like vice versa too. Like
I'm sorry, I'm making a face because I'm
'cause
like, are they
quads-
mowing a lawn or
Yeah.
fucking racing? I can't tell.
both.
All right, anyways,
But
they're racing lawnmowers.
yeah, they're like, who could get this lawn the fastest? They're like across, like, fuck you, Jimmy. But and vice versa too. Someone who grew up with not as much money, you're going to view things a different way than someone who did grow up with a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all kind of about perspective.
Yeah. I was at work, and they were playing that Bruno Mars song. What is it? Damn. What is it? That's what I like. Is that the thing?
Mhm.
That's what it, I don't know. It's just so repetitive.
Yeah,
And-
with Cardi B,
Yeah, the lyrics
I think.
are, at some point he says like, your smile ain't never gonna leave, and I think it's interesting, because it's like, what I wrote was, has your smile ever gone away? Like, when it comes up, it's painfully clear that there is some deep-seated sadness that's taken over. Like, when you try to smile, like, it almost feels like too heavy to smile.
Mm.
And like, how did it go away, and like, what was happening for you during the time? Because like, when I think about that, it's almost like the internal smile, like, that they promise, because they're always saying that in songs. It's like, I promise, you're gonna smile for the rest of your life, or like whatever. And I'm just like internally smiling, because sometimes externally I'm not smiling because you done pissed me off.
I think they're just running out of lyrics. To be honest, like a lot of love songs sound the same, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. Listen to love songs, and you guys be the judges. But they're running out of lyrics.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. But the other thing is just like, I'm just thinking about, like, it's that loneliness that we discussed, that
Yeah.
like, your smile really does fucking leave, bro.
Mhm.
Like, not saying that a relationship is everything. I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying there is a part of, for some of us, I'm going to say for me, that like, genuinely, when I was by myself, I was happy, right, to a certain degree, but like, there was a, like, it's almost like my smile sometimes was hollow. If it makes sense, like there was space.
It was like a superficial kind of thing, just like on the outside, like you were just like doing it kind
No,
of thing.
not necessarily that. Like, it's like it's there, but it's not. It's like what the cliche is, like, it's a shell of what it once was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's still there, but like, there's no depth. There's nothing. There's no concentrated energy of it. Like, it's genuinely hard to smile, or like, when you do smile, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right, if that makes sense.
Like maybe you're just doing it because you're used to like almost like kind of a fake it till you make it type of thing.
No, because what I'm trying to say is, like, I've genuinely, like, when I laugh, or like, if I'm in a bad mood, or like when I was lonely and we would have good times, like hanging out with my friends, right? Being single, like, I would smile, and like, the movies, like in the movies where like there's always like, or not always, but there's like a scene where like a person is having like a really good time, and then they kind of look off into the distance, like, as they're smiling, and it kind of like dawns on them the reality of the situation. So in that moment, there was a genuine feeling of happiness, but the joy that fills that is not there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm referring to, like when I was single. And I'm not saying this, I realize that I'm saying all of this being in a relationship and you not being in a relationship, and I'm like, this might come off like fucked up, but I just meant like I remember being like that, and I'm just curious as to like kind of how you're handling things, and like if there are any similarities between like how you and I handle like being single, because I'm a fucking mess sometimes. I'm needy. I know you're not, but
no, I am, but in my own way. Like,
okay.
It depends on what point I'm at emotionally. Like, in the beginning, like when the breakup first happened, oh man, like just because I was used to having somebody else there, it did feel weird. Like, I remember one of the weirdest things ever was sleeping in my own bed.
Oh my gosh, sleeping
like,
alone.
Used to, yeah. So used to having somebody else there, because even like physically you don't feel someone there. It's that emotional thing too of like, it's almost like a safety thing, like a reassurance. It's nice, it's comforting. But that, so there are some times, and there's still some times now, where I feel like super lonely and needy, and where I just want I just want reassurance or somebody there. But then there's also times where I don't feel that. So I think that for me, because I get attached, that's the thing, that what I learned is that my final take on it is just realizing, I mean, I still think I am very lonely right now, and I think that it comes in waves, but from what I was saying earlier of like, I didn't realize how lonely I was till I went back to my parents' house, because I was like, oh shit, my parents are getting older. And, I was like, oh damn, like I just upped and left because of like my own hurt, and, taking things personally and holding on to it. And like, then I got into a serious relationship where I actually wanted to build with this person, and then it being taken away so quickly.
Honestly, though, I can't help but like respect the reasoning for why.
No, of
like,
course.
No, I'm not saying it in any kind of way. I'm
no,
just
but
like,
I agree,
because we're having this conversation right now, and that's the exact from what you told me is the reason why, is because they needed to figure out what the hell was going on with them, and sometimes that's the most hurtful and most responsible thing you could do.
Like I really do. I respect him for that a lot, and honestly I thank him for that a lot, because I knew that things weren't right, and just, like I would talk to you about stuff too. And
mind you, I still love the guy. It's like, this is not one of those, we hate that motherfucker. Like, we don't, like, not here. He was a good guy. And it's just sometimes it's not compatible. It's really all that it is. Or, you guys are not ready.
Like, I think we all have our faults. I think he had his faults. I have my faults. And I'm sure that, he was feeling the effects of some of the things that I said and done, the same way that now when I look back, because there were some things where I'm like, oh shit, like, I didn't realize how much it influenced me. And, some of the things that he said and did, I look back now and I'm like, oh shit, like that wasn't cool. And I'm sure that he's looked back and he's like, oh shit, that wasn't cool that she did that.
That's so fucking good though, because so many people are so quick to be like, my ex was crazy, da 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 da. But you have to remember that like you were there too. And to say that you came out squeaky clean, no, you're lying. Not saying you're a terrible person, but you have to like, and honestly, like, I feel like I keep interrupting. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay, go.
All right, it's just bringing me, it's bringing a thought to my brain of, like, my ex, right? I was with him for, like, 10 years. And I'm saying, like, there's a part of my brain that sometimes wonders, like, did he just need that extra space? You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I'm so happy with my marriage, and I'm glad that everything turned out the way that it is. But I'm just saying, like, when people take the time to really work on themselves, like, and there are other people that force it and force it and force it, and it's just like, I think I don't think we would have worked out. Even if he would have taken that space and we tried again, just because we have two different personalities, and it's just not gonna work that way. And like the other thing was just, hold on, god damn it, this weed. pretty much I want to take responsibility for the things that I did that were toxic in there. And that lastly, like the taking the time forcing it, you end up with years of fucked up memories with this person that you're supposed to love. And it's not because they're a terrible person, because I'm starting to, little by little, I'm starting to be like, they're not a bad person. They just did fucked up, annoying fucking things that still, when I think about them, bother me, which I got to work through. However, it's when you force something with somebody and you know when you're doing it. Don't sit there and shake your head. No, you know when you're doing it, because there's a feeling deep down inside it doesn't fit. Yeah. It's not right. Something's not right. Even if you guys are going out to dinner, you're hanging out, you're with friends, there's an emptiness there. There is something there. There's a loneliness. Yeah. And it's not their fault per se, because I'm not going to sit here and attack every single person that you've gotten with, that it didn't work out, because that's the whole reason for dating. Yeah. It's the whole reason for interacting with people. Some people we mesh with and some people we don't. So we're just going to take away the fact, obviously there are people that are fucking terrible and they should just not be in any relationship whatsoever. They should just not be near people. But I'm talking about people who are genuinely, they're just people. You know, just like any other person. Yeah. And they make mistakes just like we do. They make, you know, what's the word? They make decisions based off of trauma as well. And like, it's, so in that, the two of you don't allow the space. Now I'm saying there are some times where two people together can combat the things that they're going through or the things that they've went through and work through it like together and individually. However, for most, it's very hard when you have another partner there. It's hard to go inward. It's hard to not take things personally. It's a setup for a disaster, because all of the things that Dom and I talk about to make yourself neutral to whatever, you're in a constant state of maybe anxiety or panic or just emotions because you're in love. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I'm not saying it takes away from your love. I'm just saying that, like, if you really care about this person, and not in the, if it's meant to be, it'll be, or if you love something, let it go. I'm saying it's more of like, if you don't give them the space, if you don't even try to give yourself the space, you are just going to force it, and the person that you cared about the most, you're going to have the most fucked up memories with, because they're going through the same thing you are. Yeah. You're not always the hero in somebody's story. You've said that before, like, that we're definitely the villain in somebody's story. Yeah. And so in that point, it kind of is your villain era. Like, you making toxic in your early 20s? In your early 20s, everybody here is a villain. Oh, like, yeah. Y'all are all doing crazy shit. Yeah. Like, whether it's passive aggressive or direct or whatever the hell you want to call it, we all here cutting up. Yeah. So, like, that being said, I think that there's something to be said about taking the break, because if you don't, you're going to have terrible fucking memories with this person that you really tried to make it work with. Even if you see their potential, even if you know they love you from the bottom of their heart. Yeah. You know, because there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I think he loved me. I think he did. Yeah. I think there was a part that of him that really did care. But it was too many things, and it was thing after thing after thing. Yeah. And it's just like, and it builds. And now, a person that you cared about, that you loved, that you might have possibly had a friendship with beforehand, that person is no longer in your life. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I miss this person, because I don't. But, you know, it's also like, for the people who do, like, I feel like, me personally, and we can cut this out if you need, but I personally would have loved for you and him to become friends after all of this. Yeah. And I feel like it's only possible because you guys are taking that time away. Yeah. You know, I feel like you have more of a possibility of being friends and being connected in the future than you would have if you would have been up each other's asses or, like, in each other's space. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I think... Like, was that too much? Like,
No. You can leave that in, too. Okay. That's fine. I think...
It's just...
I don't know if him and I will ever be friends again, only because I know how he is. He is very extreme, extreme, extreme.
Mhm.
So, and he even said it too. He was like, I don't, I don't think I could be friends and stuff like that. Cause I said to him, I was like, like somewhere down the road, like, do you think we could still be friends and stuff? Because, yeah, obviously, in the moment, obviously, I was very much like, oh man, I don't want to lose this person. I respect him for making the decision he did. And it's sad because I don't think we would have worked out. Like, I think that just because there were so many differences, and like I know that I spoke to you about stuff, but just where we were on certain things, like on emotional levels, we weren't on the same level. Um, and I don't want to go into too much detail out of respect for him, but it felt like something wasn't right. It did feel that way. And like he even mentioned it too. And I told him, I was like, I know, like, excuse me, can we like try to work on it and whatever. But sadly, I don't think him and I will ever be friends again. I don't know. Um Based on who he is, I don't think so. Cause like I said, he's very uh just keep moving straight forward, not really looking at the side events going on. Um and honestly, like yeah, I would like to have a friendship, but at the same time, I just think that right now it wouldn't be productive for either of us just because I'm sure there's still some things that he's heard about. There's still some things that I'm heard about. And, just working through it and like I think it was the right call when it was made. And also too, like I said, in the relationship, I think we both kind of felt that something was off. And again, I know that I spoke to you about it and I kind of just said like, no, like something's not right. And like I remember saying to Mel, like, I don't know if I can keep doing this because some certain things, um, it should, it just wasn't aligning. And I wanted to work on things and stuff. But ultimately, I do think that the right call for all parties involved was to break up because I think it would have been a lot more, I think it would have been ugly and I think it
Oh,
would
but it
have been
escalated for
oh yeah,
sure.
and I think that it would have been a lot more like intense if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
So like I said, there are still some things that I'm upset about, and looking back to now that the rose colored glasses are off, um I do think there were some things that like I did that was fucked up, and there were things that he did that was fucked up that I'm now working through or have been working through, and probably again vice versa, that he's been working through and stuff because we were both very stubborn. But
You need the time.
yeah, you need the
You
time.
just
You need the
need the
time.
time, and I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but you
Yeah.
do, and you're so strong for doing that shit. Because let me tell you something. I was the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth girl. Like
Yeah.
I just would do like we broken up, and then 2 weeks later we're back together, and then
Yeah.
a month later we're back together and broken up. And
Yeah.
like I don't even know how many times I've ping ponged.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's not stable. You're in a constant state of anxiety and just
Mhm.
high emotions, and it's really difficult to fucking heal when you're in the middle of that.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's every day, and you wake up, you're anxious. You go to sleep, you're anxious. Do you know how wonderfully I rest my head at night?
Yeah.
With a child and everything, I rest my head at night comfortable,
Yeah.
secure, loved.
Yeah.
And I want that for everybody. I
Well,
want
that's
that
why
for
you got to
you.
go through the storms,
Hell
Like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. There were plenty of times, and I would say that there were plenty of times that I was like, oh man, like because it felt safe and it felt like I was used to that.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, like I want to text this person, but knowing as much as I miss this person, I was very attached, and I realized that towards the end of the relationship, and like I think that's also why the breakup hurt so much because, well, one, while I did feel that things were off, I thought that it would have been something that like we could have a conversation about and try to actively work on and then call it if it, but at least give it that shot. Um,
Oh yeah.
but I think that the reason why it felt so intense is because I was I felt a little blindsided by it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, again, I thought, and I don't want to go into too much detail out of respect for them, but I just thought that things could have worked themselves out a little bit differently. And when I say work themselves out, could ultimately still could have ended in a breakup, but I think it could have been handled a little bit different and stuff. And because of the attachment, I think that's also why too I feel and felt so lonely just in general, because I distract myself, and I don't always, instead of like sometimes sitting with myself and being alone, um I distract myself with other people and stuff like that. And I kind of noticed that's what was happening. I knew that something fell off, but when we were good and we were happy, no one really thought about it. But then when it was like we weren't out to eat, and like it was like little kind of tiffs, it just reminded you of like, oh shoot, like yeah, something just doesn't feel right. And it's not that this person's a bad person or that I'm a bad person, but just like we need to grow. We need to grow and stuff like that. But um yeah, like
Goddamn,
it,
girl.
it doesn't make him a bad person, doesn't make me a bad person. And I I hope that he feels the same way too. I mean, if I'm public enemy number one in his mind, I'm public enemy number one. What are you gonna do? But
Yeah, what are you gonna do, man?
I hope that the breakup, he's using the breakup and his time now to work on what he wanted to work on. Not that I think that it was a waste, but just don't
So you
don't
gotta pull the things
prolong.
that you can out
Yeah,
of it. Yeah.
don't prolong your. Oh, sorry, Mike. Your healing, but there's just so many other things that I think we need to focus on in our lives. Like like I said, my parents are getting older, and it kind of fucks with me a little bit because I'm like, oh
Oh my God.
shit.
Let me tell you something. I had a moment with my mom when I realized it, because she's not old.
Hmm.
She's just getting older.
Yeah.
It's part of it. But
Yeah.
it's scary as fuck, right? Because she like held my hand or something for a split second, and I realized that her hands are a lot softer now. And I'm like, oh, that means that's something scary. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
She got the grandma hands now.
A little bit,
Yeah.
in the most respectful way possible. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
comforting, but it was also kind of scary.
That sound like a broken record. I've always been very lonely. Have always felt very lonely. Not all the times, because there's some times where you don't realize it. But the bottom line is that's what I struggle with. I struggle with feeling lonely, and seeing my parents get older. It hit me the other day. I was like, oh shit, like I did up and leave, and a part of me feels guilty about it. I know that's what I needed in that moment, but I wish I would have spoken to them a bit more. So now, where like I am spending more time with them, like it is what it is. I can't change it. I could try to make up for lost time, but yeah, it just I don't know why. It just hit me a certain way of realizing like I find comfort in my family, and I don't have to be this lone soldier that has it figured out all the time. Like I can refer to other people and stuff like that. And yeah, like it's just kind of trippy a little bit, like
Hmm.
it really puts the little things as they are little things. They're small things. Like there's bigger things to worry about, such as time. Time is, not infinite. People's time on this earth is not infinite, and like you gotta make do with what you have and try not to focus on the super minute things. That's not to say, like, listen, if you're in a toxic relationship, whether it's family, friends, whatever it
Get
may
the fuck
be,
out.
yeah, get out. That's not me trying to say like, well, you don't know how much time you have left with. No, 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 no. Like, do what you have to do to go heal, but it's
Like,
very
just don't take your
interesting.
time. Don't take the time for granted with the people that you love
Yes. Yeah.
and care about.
Mhm.
So I totally.
I feel like we went all over the place.
We did, but you here with us, right? You here?
Yeah.
All right, so hit us with the affirmation.
All right, our affirmation is...
We're on one.
Drum roll with your lips. Let's see what she does this time. There we go.
Got it.
What did you do the other time? You were like... I don't know what the
That
hell
shit was
that
fucking funny.
I was like, what the our affirmation for today is, I am proud that I have come so far.
Ooh!
So, yeah.
We did it!
So I thought that was a good one. So I hope that affirmation sticks. And I know this was a super long episode, but I hope that, you got what you needed out of it. And do some reflecting yourself. Because a lot of people are very lonely, but they refuse to acknowledge it and they distract themselves. So try to take a minute and really just think about it. Because don't be ashamed if you're lonely. It's not something to feel shameful about. It's just the honest truth. Because if you feel lonely, even with the perfect people surrounding you, you might be feeling lonely because it's something you're not doing for yourself. So, just be patient.
Do
stuff
something
like that.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Do something nice.
Yeah, because there's multiple categories to your life. Like, you have your family, you have your relationship, you have your own personal, and like hobbies and stuff like that. And that could be a reason why you're feeling lonely, because you're so busy serving other parts of your life, like your job, whatever it may be. But yeah, so we hope that something from here is applicable to your life. If not, tell your friend to watch the episode, or at least just put it on mute and let it play so we get a view. So thanks. But yeah, you can find us on multiple different platforms, such as TikTok, Instagram. We have an email. You could send us an email. You can watch us on Spotify, actually, because it plays it. And you can also listen to us on YouTube and Apple Music. And Mel, we also have a Patreon, which is how much?
$5.
Yes, it is. So please donate, because we're poor. So, anyway, yeah. So what's our handle?
We are Talk Your Shift across all platforms.
Yep.
All right, give us that 4 or 5 star rating, so we can go up to more recommended podcasts.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.